watching Capuchin TV, your Catholic identity channel.
Maria mtakatifu, mzazi mtakatifu, bikira mtakatifu, mkuu wa mabikira, mama wa Kristo Yesu, mama wa neema ya Mungu Maria.
This October, history is being made. A century of faith, a century of grace, a century of God's love. The Archdiocese of Kisumu joyfully invites you to a once-in-a-lifetime celebration, 100 years of faith, unity and mission. Join us on Friday, the 10th of October 2025 at the Tumsifu Center in Kisumu starting at 10 a.m. East African Time as we mark a century of God's grace under the theme, A New Heart, A New Spirit, Ezekiel chapter 36 verse 26. The Eucharistic celebration will be presided over by the Most Reverend Maurice Muhatia Makumba, the Archbishop of Kisumu Metropolitan See, and will be brought to you live on Capuchin TV and streamed across all our social media handles. Come, people of God, come, sons and daughters of faith. Let us lift our hearts in thanksgiving as we celebrate the past, embrace the present, and step boldly into a future renewed in spirit. Follow, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and social media pages to be part of this momentous celebration. Archdiocese of Kisumu, 100 years of existence, a new heart, a new spirit for the glory of God. Don't miss it. Keep watching Capuchin TV, your staunchly Catholic identity channel.
These are birth conditions whereby a child is born with a gap in the lip or in the roof of the mouth.
These are babies who are very vulnerable to get malnutrition. And so in my Discuss Nutrition, one of the things I discuss with these mothers is, one, monitoring them in terms of weight, in terms of height, and making sure these babies are growing well. Cleft and lip surgeries. This is going to be taking place from the 29th of September to 2nd of October. And I want to welcome all of you so that you can be able to come here and participate in the surgeries that we'll be doing for free.
We got you and you are all welcome.
Mama wa Mungu, mama wa huruma, mama wa Yesu, tuombe. Mama Maria. upendo, mama wa Mungu, mama wa huruma, mama wa Yesu, tuombe.
My name is Bishop Cleophas Oseso, the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Nakuru. I want, in a very special way, to welcome you to Nakuru. On 4th October this year, we are all called to gather at the Marian Shrine in Subukia. As a tradition, the Catholic faithful of the country of Kenya have always converged in this holy place of prayer to dedicate their lives and to also dedicate themselves to the care of God. In this year, in a very special way, we are dedicating our country of Kenya to the care of Our Lady, Mary, the Mother of God. This shrine is named after Mary, the Mother of God. And we want to put all our cares, all our worries in the care of God. And the best way to do it is to pass through the Blessed Virgin Mary, the Mother of God. She is very instrumental in our Christian life. She is also our intercessor before her Son, Jesus Christ, and before God. So let us come to this place where many have come and have witnessed the graces and the wonderful things that have happened in their lives. Come, let us pray together. Let us dedicate our nation to the Blessed Virgin Mary. She is our mother. She is also our protector. Welcome to Nakuru, Subukia Shrine.
Mama wa upendo, mama wa Mungu, mama wa huruma.
Good evening and welcome to the Catholic Focus. I'm Asasha Elizabeth with sign language interpretation by Eric Maluki. Now coming up in this broadcast, from diplomacy and democracy to justice, education and the fight against gender-based violence, we bring you the stories shaping Kenya and beyond. We will also take you to Kakamega, where football is offering young people more than just a game. Now let's begin here in Kajiado County, where voter registration has entered its second day, with the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission rolling out a new system that uses eye biometrics for identification. The commission is targeting over 6.3 million new voters ahead of the 2027 general polls, but says it needs more funding to fully implement the process. And as the exercise takes shape across the country, political leaders are calling on young people to seize the moment and register in large numbers. In Busia County, Woman Representative Catherine Omanyo has urged youth not to sit on the sidelines, warning that their push for change will remain hollow unless they show up at the ballot. Robert Mwangi brings us the details.
For the first time in Kenya's electoral history, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is using eye biometrics to capture details of new voters.
Our BVR, what we call biometric voter registration kits, are configured to take into account all those identifiers which are unique to an individual. And that's why we do the fingerprints, but also the facial features to allow us to authenticate that indeed, besides what is in the ID, the person who has been registered as a voter is the right person. We are guided also by the Data Protection Act and, of course, the laws governing privacy.
The commission launched the exercise in Kajiado with all commissioners present as it set sights on registering 6.3 million new voters before 2027.
Let us target to bring on board all unregistered Kenyans who shall visit the nearest registration point, where in an IBC office, whether in an IBC office or a Huduma center. It is important to note that one of the kit in every registration center is open to all Kenyans to register, and therefore you are encouraging any Kenyan to visit the nearest registration center. As we proceed with this exercise, we welcome your feedback and suggestion to help us tailor voter registration strategies to the unique needs of every county, constituency, ward, or even community.
But IEBC says limited funding could derail the ambitious plan and is appealing to Parliament to allocate more resources.
We were given a budget by the Treasury, although there were certain budget cuts, but we've negotiated with the Treasury, and for this registration of voters, especially the first phase, this is phase 1, which will target the 290 constituencies. We have funding for that. And then as we move, remember the election is in 2027, and we are supposed to register citizens, eligible voters, for a period up to 8 months before the general elections. That's when we will close the registration process and clean up the register, do the voter register audit, and then publish the register. So we are doing registration in phases, and this is phase 1, which will be focused at the constituency level. Then phase 2 will now go further down to the wards and villages. And that is, for that one, we will get enhanced funding as well, so that we conduct that mass voter registration exercise as well.
At the same time, political leaders are rallying the youth to turn out in large numbers. In Busia, the county woman representative, Catherine Omanyo, told young people their calls for change will be meaningless if they fail to register and vote.
Itakuwa aibu sana vijana ambao haswa wameamka wanataka kuwa suluhisho katika hii Kenya yetu wasijiandikishe. Naomba sana vijana wote ambao wamehitimu miaka 18 wajiandikishe kupiga kura, kwa sababu wakitaka Kenya nzuri, Kenya ya maendeleo, ni jinsi watapiga kura. Kura inasaidia kuleta mtu ambaye atawakumbuka, ataleta maendeleo katika mitaa, vijijini, na wasipopiga kura inamaanisha wataacha tu mtu yoyote apewe kiti na huyo mtu hawasaidii.
Please put your hand up and do your job. And if you don't do it, those of us who are 5% like me, we will do it for you, and we will do it the way we know how to do it, and we will do it for people of our age.
With the voter registration drive now underway across the country, the challenge remains mobilizing resources and convincing millions of young Kenyans that their voice at the ballot box can shape the nation's future.
Kila mtu hapa amesimama, ameongea, amesema kijana, kijana, kijana. We the young people of Kenya, hata tumepewa statistic na professor, we make 31%. Naomba sasa munisikilize chenye nasema. Tujitokeze tupige kura, kwa sababu hili ni jukumu letu. It is an act of responsibility. Ikifika wakati tumeshapiga kura, basi tutadai haki yetu, what we will call our right. But coming out to register to vote is an act of responsibility. Na mimi naomba vijana msiangushe vice chair wenu, hata chair na kila mtu. Sisi ni vijana, na hiyo ndio the best gift you can ever have.
Reporting for Capuchin TV Catholic Focus, my name is Robert Mwangi.
Clearly, the numbers tell the story. Over 6 million new voters are targeted, yet the real test will be whether young Kenyans take up the call and translate their voices into votes or not. Now let's head to Kakamega County, where the government has sealed a new partnership with the Cereals Growers Association aimed at boosting food production. Officials say the deal will ease market challenges, safeguard farmers' interests, and strengthen the county's agricultural backbone. Let's get the story from our very own David Kiprotich.
Cereal farmers in Kakamega County have received a major boost following the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the county government and the Cereals Growers Association. The deal is expected to open the new opportunities for farmers, improve productivity, and give them stronger bargaining power in the market. County officials say the agreement will be anchored in law to guarantee farmers protection and sustainability.
Tuna malengo karibu manne hasa kwa mambo ya ukulima. Kwanza tunataka tushughulikie mambo ya afya ya udongo zetu. Tunataka tushughulikie mambo ya mimea na mifugo, haswa uzalishaji, na baada ya hiyo tunataka tushughulikie hasara zinazopatikana baada ya kuvuna, na mwishowe tushughulikie mambo ya soko. Gatuzi la Kakamega limekuwa mstari wa mbele kubuni sheria ambayo itahakikisha kwamba inalainisha utekelezaji. Lakini pasipo sheria tumekuwa pia mstari wa mbele kushughulikia mambo ya sera ambayo itatusaidia katika kuweka mfumo ambao utawafaidi wakulima.
Wanasaidia wakulima kutafuta kuwapea soko, kuwapea mbegu, na pia kuona wanapata crop nutrition kama vile mbolea na mengine kama hayo. Na waziri hapa Kakamega County tuko na various value chains. Yani tunafanya different value chains. Ya kwanza tuko na agroforestry, tuko na mahindi, tuko na maharagwe na mboga mbalimbali, tuko pia hasa na mambo ya high iron beans. Tuko pia na sugarcane, tuko na sunflower, apiculture na horticulture. Hiyo tunafanya yote Kakamega County. Changamoto ya soko imekuwa kila wakati. Wakulima wanapanda mimea, wanavuna, lakini wanakosa soko. Hiyo shida tumeitatua kwa kupitia kwa Farmer Service Center. Kwa mfano mkulima kama huyu, shughuli yake ni kuangalia kila mkulima ambaye ako chini yake anapokea pembejeo kama vile mbolea, mbegu na pia crop nutrition.
Farmers already working with the association have already welcomed the move and are urging the county to strengthen such collaborations for long-term growth.
Tunahimiza wakulima kufanya kilimo hifadhi ili kwamba wapate manufaa hata kama kutakuwa na ukosefu wa mvua. But sasa hile kitu ambayo inatuchanganya kidogo ni ile kitu ambayo inatufanya tusifikie kile kiwango ambacho tunaweza saidia wakulima ni kifaa ambacho kinaitwa ripa. So request yangu moja ni county government ingetusaidia sisi na kifaa kinaitwa ripa, ama kwa hizo tractors za county government watuwekee hicho kifaa cha ripa ili kisaidia wakulima wapate mavuno mazuri.
Upande wa serikali vile naweza taka isaidie wakulima wangu, kwa sababu wakulima mara mingi wakikuja kwangu wanataka vitu kwa mkopo. Ikifika mahali pa mkopo na unajua sisi tumeweka nini na partners, hakuna vile na wakopesha. Labda waingilie kati wajue vile wanaweza kopesha wakulima kupitia kwetu, tujue huyu mkulima anaweza lipa loan vizuri na anaweza so long as apate mavuno mazuri.
The county is now banking on this partnership to turn farming into a profitable venture and lift household incomes. Reporting for Catholic Focus, my name is Kiprotich David.
From the fields to our roads, where a sharp rise in fatal road accidents across Kenya has been linked to a widespread scam involving the issuance of fake driving licenses, with thousands of untrained drivers believed to be on the roads. Road safety officials warn that the growing number of unqualified drivers is putting lives at risk and fueling a national road safety crisis. Here's Maureen Kimani with that report.
The Road Safety Association of Kenya claims up to 80% of licenses issued since 2019 were obtained without formal training. Chairman David Carey says this has fueled rising accidents, including 2 deadly crashes last weekend in Nakuru County.
The Road Safety Association of Kenya expresses a grave concern over the performance of the National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA. Recent mass casualty crashes include 1. Kisumu Coptic Roundabout, the bus rollover on 8th August 2025 with at least 25 deaths. 2. The Naivasha Moredant train and staff bus collision on 7th August 2025 with 9 deaths. 3. The Korompoi Kitengela Matatu and Lorry crash on 9th August 2025 with 8 deaths. And as I read this press statement, 13 people have perished at Keriandusi near Kikope from a Matatu trailer collision, and a further 6 fatalities from an ambulance crashes.
Kenya's road deaths rose from 4,324 in 2023 to 4,748 in 2024, a 10% increase. Over 300 deaths have already been recorded this year.
On 17th April 2024, His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto launched the Kenya National Road Safety Action Plan 2024-2028 with a commitment to reduce fatalities by 50% by December 2028. Yet, outcome remains off track, with the deaths rising in 2024. This reversal points to failure of strategy, leadership, accountability, and execution at the authority, despite clear national plan.
Carey accused the government of ignoring safety warnings and criticized the exclusion of key stakeholders from the recent National Road Safety Conference.
Are government agencies the only stakeholders responsible for road safety? Where are the bodybuilders responsible for the structural integrity of public service vehicles? Where are the speed limiter suppliers essential for speed management? What role are driving schools playing in training new drivers? What have these partners done to reduce fatalities? How effective have their initiative been? What has the lead road safety agents delivered in the National Road Safety Action Plan, that is NRSAP, and how much of its budget is dedicated to life-saving road safety activities? Important to note that NTSA performed well under its first Director General, Mr. Francis Major, and with the leadership of the late Honorable John Michuki, this success can be achieved again.
With lives being lost daily and families thrown into mourning, the call is clear. Without bold action and accountability, Kenya's roads will remain death traps. The question now is, will the government act before more lives are lost, or will inaction continue to pave the road to tragedy? Reporting for Catholic Focus, I'm Maureen Kimani.
Well, and of course, while road safety remains a pressing concern, and education leaders also raising alarm this time over the push for JSS. So for March of September 2025, junior secondary school teachers across Kenya have been intensifying their campaign for autonomy, pressing the government to separate JSS management from primary schools and grant full administrative control. In numerous counties from Bungoma to Murang'a, Nyamira to Isiolo, educators have petitioned, protested, and called for clarity on job security, resource allocation, and governance. In Tharaka Nithi, JSS teachers are now formally backing that movement. They say autonomy will eliminate management conflicts, unlock resources, and accelerate improvements in learning. With more on this story is John Berger.
For weeks, educators nationwide have taken a stand. Junior secondary school JSS must break free from the lash of primary schools' hierarchies and be allowed to self-govern. The struggle now lands in Tharaka Nithi, where teachers are demanding just that and also pushing the government to regularize more than 20,000 intern teachers into permanent roles to stabilize the sector.
The Ministry of Education wako na session paper number 2 2024 ambayo inataka kuweka primary schools and the junior schools pamoja. Tunataka hilo walimu? Tunataka hilo walimu? Tunasema comprehensive? Comprehensive? Kwa hivyo tunaongea na Ministry of Education, tunaongea na MPs and even the Teacher Service Commission to make sure that JS is autonomous. To make sure JS is autonomous. To make sure JS is autonomous. The CMBE is well elaborated. That it should be 2633. How should that be? 2633. How should that be? 2633. Then why do you have 2693? Hiyo tunataka ama tutaki? Tunataka ama tutaki? Comprehensive?
Teachers here hold the hardline stance that JSS schools cannot thrive under the management of primary institutions. According to them, the arrangement has sparked conflicts and limited resources, ultimately hunting learners.
These teachers in junior secondary schools were employed on a career progression befitting the secondary school teachers. It was very shameful the other day to listen to the Secretary General of NAT calling these teachers mere C2 teachers. Shame. I want to remind OU that the C2 position, the C2 grade amongst its members is an administrative position. So as TSC, as you are reviewing the CPGs, we want to tell you that you must affirm that these teachers in junior secondary schools are going to be graded according to the secondary school grades. Yes. Moreover, I want to remind also our members, our colleagues in the primary schools, just because you are seated next to a graduate does not make you one. Just because you are teaching with these colleagues, that does not make them your equals. You should be able to respect that degree, and you should know that in the next 2 years, these teachers will be qualified even to be the deputies in those primary schools. So we want these people to have autonomy so that they can also have the administrators according to the career progression that is going to be reviewed and to be reviewed in their favor.
The teachers urge that granting autonomy will allow junior secondary schools to access adequate resources, improve infrastructure and strengthening leadership for better outcomes.
Previously, we've had the SG of NAT, OU, Bona OU, mentioning that we are arrogant and we disrespect our HOIs, and we want to have these positions in a greedy way. We'd like to clarify that it is not a mistake that we are young and more qualified. It is not a mistake that we are young and more qualified. We rightfully deserve these positions, but we are not demanding for them right now. There are teachers in the senior school who are in the job groups, the right job groups that are for administrators, and we are requesting the commission to kindly bring them to the JS schools so that they can be able to run these schools, because we believe that once they get these positions, the education of the junior school learners will have quality, better quality than as it is right now. I have a statement here from one of the Capuchin leaders in the country mentioning that they are supposed to soothe us so that we stop complaining, because once we leave the comprehensive school that they are purporting to have, the capitation is going to be reduced. This is to mention to the public, to the parents and to the president that we have people who have selfish interest based on capitation and not to the learner who is supposed to succeed to make this country a better place.
Autonomy is a must. We cannot allow our colleagues to be mistreated and even to stay for the previous 2 years in turn and then stay for another 3 years to be confirmed. Tunasema by January they will be completing 3 years as per the policy. Therefore, in January, we want everybody who is in C2 to go to C3. Na hiyo ni lazima. Hiyo ingine mambo ya autonomy ni lazima. They must be given complete independence. They are BOM PA, they are principals and deputies.
At the same time, The educators are demanding the government move swiftly to confirm more than 20,000 interns into permanent and pensionable terms. They believe such a step will motivate teachers and secure the future of junior secondary school education.
We are saying, we stand with the autonomy of JSS teachers. 2, we are saying these teachers must be given a clear guideline on how they will be promoted. We know those who are graduate entered at C2, the diploma C1, and at 3 years, they will automatically move to C3. When they move to C3, after 3 years again, we expect them to go to C4, which is an administrative grade for primary school teachers. What will happen to this JSS when they get to C4? We need to know what will happen to them when they become C5, because C5 is the end of institution in comprehensive school. We are calling them to think, sit down, and listen with what is happening on the ground. The end of institutions, we are kindly asking you, treat these young teachers as your children. Don't think when they ask for their right, they are becoming arrogant. They are not disrespectful. They are only asking for what belongs to them. Yes. And as I have said elsewhere, these people are very good when you explain to them precisely what you want. Sure. I came across one head teacher who had told one JS teacher to teach PE grade 3. Now, when that grade teacher, JS teacher refused, then the teacher insulted him on our social media and told him, degree is just a piece of paper. That is too low. Our president, please listen to what these teachers are saying, because there are so many.
The union leaders say they are ready to engage the government to find a lasting solution that will benefit both teachers and learners.
JS autonomy is a must. And if it means that we go to the streets, we will not relent. We will go to the streets full force. Yes. And we are not going to the streets to attack the government. We are going there for a right purpose.
Reporting for Capuchin TV, Catholic Focus, I'm John Beja.
Let's go back to our top story where in the Africa must move away from aid dependency and aggressively pursue trade, investment and domestic resource generation to drive its own growth. Prime Cabinet Secretary and Foreign Affairs CS Musalia Mudavadi says the continent must reposition itself within the changing global economic order, warning that the failure to act decisively will leave Africa behind. Speaking during celebrations to mark the 76th anniversary of the People's Republic of China in Nairobi, Mudavadi underscored the need for stronger partnership such as Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, which he says has already yielded tangible results. Here is Susan Bulemi with details of that story.
At the Chinese embassy in Nairobi, Kenya joined the rest of the world in marking the 76th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. It is here that Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi challenged African nations to rethink their reliance on aid instead of harnessing trade, innovation, and partnerships to spur development.
We believe that Africa requires predictable, reliable, consistent trade arrangements with its partners. The message is that we need to stop dependency on aid as a continent and start getting more into trade, building the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, working together. And therefore, it is upon us, both individually and collectively, to take more seriously any opportunities of consolidating trade arrangements with our developing partners. So the offer that has been presented by China to the African continent is extremely timely, and I encourage other African countries to take advantage of it within the FOCAC framework so that we can create a predictable, reliable, and consistent trade arrangement with all our partners.
Mudavadi cited China as a key partner, pointing to infrastructure, governance, and technology transfers under the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation as examples of progress.
As Kenya and as Africa, the strong partnership that China has built with the African continent and African nations. Through the FOCAC arrangement, great strides have been made, spanning aspects of infrastructure and broad governance issues and technological transfer between the two, that is China and the African continent, and we think that this relationship has definitely yielded positive results for our two countries. I was one of the people at the Changsha session, and indeed the conversations there reflected a lot on the strong partnership between Africa and China.
He revealed Kenya is already advancing 21 bilateral agreements signed during President William Ruto's state visit earlier this year, including plans to extend the standard gauge railway to Kisumu and the Malaba border, as well as the dualling of the Rironi-Mau Summit-Malaba Road.
As far as Kenya is concerned, the President indeed made a state visit earlier this year, and as has been rightly pointed out, over 21, actually I think there are 21, documents or agreements were signed, bilateral agreements were signed. We wish to pursue some critical aspects where we want to extend the SGR from Naivasha all the way to Kisumu and then Malaba border, so that we can enhance the efficiency of trade between us, our neighbor Uganda, and indeed the Great Lakes region. So that is one of the key programs we are looking at, to have the line 2B and 2C concluded. We are also in consultation so that we can have the dual carriaging of the road Rironi-Mau Summit, then Mau Summit to Malaba, so that all these, again, can enhance our trade arrangements with our partners and in the region.
With ongoing negotiations for a preferential trade deal with China, the Prime CS maintained that Kenya's future lies in predictable, reliable, and consistent trade arrangements. He also defended the importance of multilateralism, saying weakening it would endanger global peace and progress.
With the kind of geopolitics we are seeing, the geoeconomics we are seeing, the geotechnologies we are seeing, the place for multilateralism is becoming even more important.
Mudavadi says partnerships such as those with China present Africa with a unique chance to chart a new course, one driven not by aid, but by trade and innovation.
And a strong message that will continue to send the signal that the absence of multilateralism is dangerous for humanity is extremely essential at this point in time. We will not be able to deal with the conflicts that we see if we disrespect or weaken or undermine multilateralism.
We welcome all of you to China and share the development opportunities together. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, over the 80 years after the victory of the World Anti-Fascist War and the founding of the United Nations, China has upheld multilateralism amid challenges and promoted a shared future amid changes. It's the right time for us to take stock of the past and envision the future. please join us in a toast to the prosperity and the well-being of our great nations of China and Kenya, to our friendship which endures as Mount Kenya, and to the good health of my all distinguished guests and your families. Cheers.
Cheers.
Reporting for Catholic Focus, my name is Susan Bulemi.
A beautiful display of culture right there. Now, Gender Cabinet Secretary Hannah Wendot Cheptumo has ordered the arrest of 4 brothers caught on video assaulting their sister for allegedly refusing to reunite with her estranged husband. Cheptumo condemned the attack as a blatant violation of the woman's rights, insisting culture cannot excuse violence and ruling out any use of alternative justice systems in the case. And as Lillian Kimathi tells us in the following report, the CS confirmed the victim is under state protection as security agencies move to apprehend the culprits.
Assaulted her with sticks for refusing to unite with her. The viral video showed Millicent Rotiken crying for help as 4 men assaulted her with sticks for refusing to unite with her estranged husband. Gender Cabinet Secretary Hannah Wendot Cheptumo condemned the attack, terming it illegal and a violation of human rights. She said the perpetrators must be arrested and face the full force of the law, dismissing any use of alternative justice system.
And we received disturbing videos circulating online. It was a group of men in Narok County, Ngareta Ward, who subjected their sister to a brutal and unlawful caning, attempting to coerce her into a forced marriage. We have traveled all the way to Narok, together with my team from the State Department for Gender, Culture and Children's Services, in which this incident squarely sits on, so that we can address this particular issue.
The CS confirmed the victim, a mother of 2 and 3 months pregnant, at the time of assault, is in a safe house. She added that while her former husband has been arrested, the 4 brothers seen in the video must also be apprehended immediately.
This woman was already married earlier. She's a mother of a 4-year-old son and a 7-year-old. And she was pregnant 3 months when she was undergoing the beating. She was already married earlier, but she decided to get married to another person. Then the person to whom she had married earlier went and reported the incident to the brothers. And the brothers decided they cannot sit and see her choosing to get married to another man. Maybe their issue was who is going to pay back the cows. So they decided to go for her all the way from another sub-county, beat her very badly, subjecting her to a lot of torture without considering that she was already pregnant, with the intention of returning her back to her previous husband. The reason why we have come here is we have come here to say, although it is culture, but that is not the culture that is expressed in Article 11 of the Constitution of Kenya. The Constitution of Kenya provides for good culture because that is what forms the cradle of our society. So we have come here to say no, and as the Ministry for Gender, Culture and Children's Services, we are looking at gender, we are looking at the welfare of those children, and we are saying we cannot accept. We have received reports from the County Commissioner and his team that the perpetrators of this heinous act have not been apprehended. They have not been arrested. The only person who has been arrested is one of the, I think it is the former husband. But the actual people, the principal offenders, the aiders and the abettors are still out in the loose. And we have agreed in the meeting that we will not sit back until we hear that these people have been apprehended and be taken to court so they can answer to the charges of gaining and mistreating that woman. But as we speak now, the lady is safe. She's in a safe place we don't want to disclose because of her security. And we want to warn the perpetrators and say we cannot allow these kind of things to happen because it spoils the name of of this county. It spoils the name of our nation, and we must condemn.
Cheptumo was accompanied by gender leaders and activists who stressed that no one should be forced into marriage against their will.
We are in support of what the Honorable CS has said, because we've agreed as a team that we are going to use the multi-sectoral approach where all the departments are going to work together so that we bring these people to book. We are not going to let this case go, because I know this is a second case which has come to my notice. There was a certain case again in Arosura where a lady was beaten because she had chosen to go to somebody else. Now we are saying no to this kind of injustices to women, because a lady has a right to choose where to go. She has a right to choose her lover. She has a right to choose whom she's going to live with, because that is the choice. This is a matter of hearts. And issues of our heart should just be given and treated as that.
Reporting for Catholic Focus, I am Lilian Kimanthi.
Well, we believe that authorities will work swiftly to ensure that justice is served and that such cases do not recur. That strong warning from the Gender Cabinet Secretary comes even as the National Gender and Equality Commission raises deeper concerns over the alarming spread of gender-based violence in the country. The Commission is calling for urgent coordinated action across all sectors to protect victims and address what it describes as a national crisis. The National Gender and Equality Commission has sounded this alarm over what it calls alarming levels of gender-based violence, warning that the crisis threatens not only individuals and families but the very fabric of society. During a visit to Murang'a County, NGEC Chief Executive Officer Dr. Purity Ngina revealed that 7 in every 10 female athletes have suffered gender-based violence, while 1 in 7 girls in Kenya has experienced teenage pregnancy, many linked to sexual assault. The Commission is now rolling out awareness campaigns in all 47 counties to educate citizens about their rights, urging county governments to integrate equality and inclusivity into policy and budgets, while also investing more in prevention and survivor support. In Murang'a, leaders also highlighted local programs that empower women and safeguard young mothers as models the rest of the country can emulate. Here's the story.
Who is below 18 cannot consent for any matters related to sexuality, and hence we have been looking at that data. We have designed programs. We have been visiting different counties. Wanjiko in terms of the law, but also we sensitize on respect of life, respect to freedom to choose. Like if you look at this case that we have just highlighted, this woman doesn't want to go to where the brothers want, and what do? They start fighting. They start fighting that. But also we are holding the government accountable, because if we have a backlog of SGBV cases in some counties, it will tell us that something must be done. We should always remember that matters of gender-based violence are criminal. They should be reported, and the law enforcers should take charge of that. But it is not good to always go to the court, we think it is good to prevent. Prevention is better. And so any programming for National Gender and Equality Commission will always be geared towards preventing, ensuring that Equality and Inclusion Technical Working Group is working, ensuring that children understand matters of gender-based violence and the reporting process, ensuring that we are also watching brief for those children of young people that are vulnerable and probably they don't have anyone to represent them in the judicial process.
We are very grateful to the Gender and Equality Commission for giving us a visit, and we commend them for the good work that they are doing of pushing our Kenyan society to a level playing ground in as far as gender equity is concerned. And we hope that their work in the near future will give us an equal society in Kenya. For the county government, much of the programs that we do, we try as much as possible to ensure that we put gender equity into perspective. When you talk of the maize program that we have currently undergoing, we have over 40,000 households, which are mainly women-led in terms of empowerment.
Machakos Deputy Governor Francis Mwangangi has delivered a blistering critique of the national government, accusing it of laxity in resolving the ongoing lecturer strike, now in its second week. He warned that the crisis is undermining devolution and eroding the future of higher education. The Deputy Governor further faulted the state for what he termed as poor national leadership and the absence of a clear foreign policy, citing the recent incident in which Somali youth were seen desecrating the Kenyan flag. He also lashed out at Labour Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua, urging him to desist from interfering in county affairs and instead address divisions within the Kenya Kwanza administration. Mwangangi, who spoke during a Catholic Church fundraiser in Machakos, maintains that the county government is focused on creating employment opportunities for young people. Here is Yvonne Onoso with details of that report.
Machakos Deputy Governor Francis Mwangangi has strongly criticized the national government for its laxity in resolving the ongoing lecturer strike in public universities, which has now entered its second week. Mwangangi feels that the government is undermining devolution and should not use the devolved system to sabotage the education sector. He stated that the current state of affairs in the education sector is a clear sign of poor national leadership, warning the government that Kalonzo is on the way of taking over the reins of power.
Vijana wetu tumewaona wako nje for a long time because of the strike. The lecturers from our universities. Mimi naomba serikali kuu, tafadhalini, the same way you are killing devolution in Kenya, please don't kill education in this country, because that is the only hope that is remaining for us. Na tukiendelea hivyo, naona nchi inaendelea kuisha, sababu ikiwa hakuna elimu jameni, tutafanya nini? So naomba tu Gavana Mutua na serikali kuu, tafadhali, mko na so many problems that you have to deal with as opposed to kuja kuantagonize vijana wa hapa Machakos. Na niseme eneo hili tumeungana, tuko pamoja na tunaungana na Wakenya wale wengine. Hizi vitu zote serikali kuu waifanye. Tunaona maneno ya usalama vile huko, tunaona umezorota, tunaona elimu ndio hiyo inaendelea kuisha, ugatusi unaisha katika taifa letu. Mjue Kalonzo ako jiani, and he will fix you if you don't fix these challenges. Sisi tuko nyuma ya His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, kwa sababu tunajua mambo kama haya yataenda kusaidia taifa hili. Ajue alitudanganya miaka 10. Yeye tunajua yule first lady alikuwa na yeye, akakuwa na huyo akatupa, tukaambiwa first lady anza kusota, sijui gavana, sijui toilets, sijui siku hizi inalipwa, sijui hospitali. That I want to refer the former governor to the Senate, and it is in the law. It is not the wish of the current county government to charge 50 shillings for anyone to go to attend to any patient attending to any facility. but it is a requirement, it is a policy, it is in the law by the national government, the government that he is serving. So ni vizuri hawe anasema ukweli wakati anakuja huku Machakos.
Mwangangi was speaking after attending a Harambee fundraiser event at the Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church in Machakos town. Reporting for Catholic Focus, my name is Unso Yvonne.
3 members of the Fighting Brutality and Impunity Movement, popularly known as FBI, have been released on cash bail by the Kahawa Anti-Terrorism Court after pleading not guilty to charges of wearing uniforms without lawful authority. The trio, Patrick Osoi, the 6th, Jackson Kuria, Elias Kop Shakur, and Hiram Kimathi, were arrested after being spotted in tactical gear resembling military attire at the Kirigiti shooting range in Kiambu. Their lawyers now insist the case is politically motivated.
So today when we appeared before court, they did close that miscellaneous file and opted to charge them with a misdemeanor, which is wearing uniform without authority. So this clearly shows that from the onset, this has been persecution and not prosecution, because for a whole 60 days, they were unable to sustain any of those charges and have only been left by this misdemeanor. So we
And our sports spotlight now focuses in Kakamega, where leaders are turning to sports as a tool for empowerment. Shinyalu MP Freddy Ikana and his Ikolomani counterpart Bernard Shinyali are urging young people to channel their energy and creativity into talent development as a pathway to jobs and financial independence. Speaking during a local FKF Kakamega East Mini League football tournament in Shinyalu, the two leaders challenged the youth to shun drugs and substance abuse, insisting that sports and skills can open doors to a brighter future. They are also calling on the government to scale up funding through the CDF to create a dedicated kitty that supports sporting initiatives.
Ya ule mwito ambao niko nao wa kusaidia vijana kuhakikisha kwamba talanta zao zinaweza kuwasaidia wajikimu kimaisha, kuhakikisha kwamba talanta zao zinaweza kuhakikisha kwamba wanazitumia kuimarisha uchumi sio tu wa Shinyalu bali wa Kenya kwa jumla. Mimi nataka tu nieleze kwamba tutazidi kushirikiana kwa njia zote. Tutazidi kushirikiana kuhakikisha kwamba tunawasitiri vijana wetu ili wakienda mashindano kule nje wawe na motisha ya kutosha kuhakikisha wana perform, kuimarisha talanta zao na pia kutumia michezo kama nafasi ya ajira katika maisha yao.
And that story brings us to the end of this edition of Catholic Focus. Thank you for watching and for staying informed with us. I'm Asasha Elizabeth with sign language interpretation by Eric Maluki. Do join us again later for our subsequent bulletins. Same time, tomorrow, same place. Until then, have a blessed evening.
Keep watching Capuchin TV, your staunchly Catholic identity channel. You are watching Capuchin TV. For any complaints, comments, or compliments on our programming, you can either write to us on info@capuchintv.co.ke or you can call us directly on 0717 424 866. Your complaint shall be addressed within 7 days. Remember to keep a copy of your communication with us. Keep watching Capuchin TV, your Catholic identity.